Before this video begins, I would like to mention that yes, this is on my ASMR channel, but no, this video is not ASMR. I've decided that since this channel is where I post my cosplays, and like most of the audience knows me because of cosplays on this channel, and the topic of this video essentially revolves around cosplays, it should go on here. Now onto the topic of this very unfortunate and very unplanned video. I cannot believe this has to be said, but you should not be cosplaying a real life serial killer. As I'm sure a lot of you may know, there is a show on Netflix called Dahmer. I personally have never seen it because I don't have Netflix and I don't want to get Netflix. But from my understanding, Evan Peters plays the real life serial killer of Jeffrey Dahmer. And I believe the show is basically just like a biography of sorts of Dahmer's life and his murders. Now, I get that Evan Peters is very popular amongst quote unquote younger audiences. Like, I think around like 13, 14-ish is probably like his main demographic of fans. And I get that like it's a Netflix show, but it's about a real life monster. I really like want to emphasize just how bad of a person the real life Jeffrey Dahmer was. This man murdered 17 people. Most of them were minors. They were underage boys. And he would brutally murder them, have sex with their corpses, and would eat them. The real life Dahmer murdered all of these people in the 80s and early 90s. That wasn't that long ago. And then he went to jail. He got a couple life sentences with no possibility of parole, as he should. And even the inmates, his fellow inmates, hated him. He ended up getting bludgeoned to death by someone else who was already serving a life sentence for murder. And that was the end of the real-life Jeffrey Dahmer's story. He was a real monster. Real people died because of this man. He was real. His victims were real people. People need to understand that. And now, because of how popular the Netflix series has gotten, for some reason, there are cosplayers that think it's okay to cosplay Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't understand why these people think it's a good idea. There are people still alive that are related to these victims, who are related to Dahmer, who are people that witnessed the trial in live time. Dahmer was in prison 30 years ago. That's not as long of a time as I'm sure quite a few of you might think it is. And it baffles me that people genuinely think it's okay to cosplay someone who mutilated corpses, especially corpses of innocent boys. It has never ever been okay to cosplay a real life serial killer, especially one who was only active 40 years ago. There are people to this day that are still in pain because they know someone who was a victim of Dahmer or who personally knew Dahmer. There are people who still hurt because of this man in real life. No one should ever be cosplaying him or any other serial killer, no matter how long ago their trials and their active years of killing were.